Big show coming up today. We've got Matt Eberflus news, and Shane Waldron has met the media, and it was terrible. The CHGO Bears Podcast starts right now. This is the CHGO Bears Podcast on a pretty newsy Thursday as we get ready for the New England Patriots and our tailgate on Sunday. We are coming at you live from our studios on a Sunnyside Thursday. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders. My name is Mark Carman. That's Gregory P. Allen Braggs, who's got his computer noise on, which is something that I do every single day or at least once a week.
Learn from the best.
You just did, and I'm so proud of you. Ton to do on the show today. Nicholas Moreano is out at Halas Hall. Adam Rank's making news. Doesn't have time for us today because he's very busy, but we're going to talk about him anyway. I have clipped 6 Shane Waldron question and answers from the Bears media and Waldron answers, and it's fascinating. We're going to do that. And, yeah, we've got locker room stuff for you, too. Zach Pickens coming up in about 10 minutes here. We're going to hear from Jalen Johnson out of locker room a little bit later today. But first things first here, Gregory, as the title of this fine show today is Matt Eberflus safe as long as Ryan Poles is the Bears general manager? Which seems like a ridiculous headline. But Adam Rank, pretty dialed in, connected, has friends that are tight with Poles.
He knows a few people.
He went on the Sick Podcast, his podcast that you are a regular guest on.
I was supposed to be on it yesterday. And I was like, oh, I'm still in Arizona. So...
Would you say that your drinking continued at the same rate that I was there?
No, we stopped. We were dialed into the clubs.
Well,
we were worried about the links and trying to break 100.
That's
which
good.
is easier said than done sometimes.
I'm allowing you to talk about your golf game for 20 seconds on the show today. So the point.
Take me back.
The point is that Rank's news is that Matt Eberflus is going nowhere. Not just now, but it sounds like he's safe going into next year. Perhaps the 5-year contract that Brad Biggs reported, reported, speculated, assumed, logically surmised yesterday in the Tribune that we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, Rank's, certainly throwing gasoline on the fire here, and
not really the rank and file style either.
No, but at the end of the day, Jesus, did I just start the show with the? I mean, like, we're gonna have to do some sort of drinking game where I am forced to stop saying at the end of the day, Stephen. We have to come up with an at the end of the day counter. I know I say something else, but that's definitely in terms of is something that
I didn't tell you this. I was counting how many times you said at the end of the day while we were golfing yesterday. 13.
Did I really?
13 times.
So for anybody who's confused right now as to how that thought just stopped, Greg has a running conversation with himself in his head.
I do.
All the time.
I can't. Sometimes it takes me an hour and a half to fall asleep because of this running conversation I have with myself.
And then you have to respond to that. Like I didn't notice at the end of the day at all. You could have just kept going.
No, I can't because the viewers also hear it, and so I'm hearing it.
There's
viewers hear it.
One viewer that heard it.
We're all losing our mind over this.
Okay,
but
we're not.
With Adam Rank, I don't think that's what he wants. It's what he's hearing, so he's reporting it. And so that is concerning. It would make sense in theory because when you decide to run it back with Matt Eberflus last year, when you knew you were going to have a rookie quarterback, when you talk about breaking the cycle, it's about not giving in to the temptation of the finer fruit. The grass is always greener on the other side. But that being said, I have a tough time, and I'm excited to talk with Rank. He'll be on with us next Monday night. We tried to get him on today, but he's got his NFL Network responsibilities to get to. But
whatever.
I certainly kind of a big deal, but so to me, I would push back on if this team continues to let go of the rope the way they did. On Sunday in Glendale playing the Arizona Cardinals, you lose to the Patriots, then all of a sudden you got the Packers coming to town and they beat your face in. To me, it's got to be hard for that kind of pill to swallow.
So, look, we can tee up the next iteration of this, which I do want to get to, which is what is the Bears' biggest problem, and we can figure out where Eberflus lands in that on some level of a consensus CHGO Bears podcast chat. Me and Braggs, along with Steven, analyst, if you will. Thank you very much. But at some point, if this thing goes really sideways, then Ryan Poles is, in my mind, will have to act. However, Ryan Poles, for me, with the Rank Report, he believes that Matt Eberflus is going to steady the ship. That's what he's thinking right now. He thinks that Flus is going to pull them out of it. And to this point in time, Flus has been able to do that. Started terrible last year, went 0-4, won 7 games. I understand that's not that sexy, but to Ryan Poles, that was impressive. Team was in the garbage can, didn't stay in the can. Most teams go down the drain. Bears didn't go down the drain. So Poles, reason why Flus is here, rocky waters, Flus gets you through. So that's what he thinks is going to happen.
That's terrifying. I mean, because he's wrong.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, and it's going to start on Sunday. But okay, let me just ask you the question, because I did a little poll here for us. What is the Bears' biggest problem? I put A as in coaching, B, O-line and overall talent on the roster, C, going to be the least popular, but I put it in there, pick the wrong quarterback. We got the Jaden Daniels game, and now we've got the Drake made on Sunday. Or D, I threw this one in there. There's nothing wrong with the Bears right now. They're right on schedule. They're 500 through 8 games. They got a rookie quarterback. You've had some unfortunate injuries to the offensive line. Basically, this is how you would expect the season to go. Everybody pretty much had them somewhere between 7 and 10 wins, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're on pace for that. Going to be a little tougher to do with the back-end schedule. But you know what? D, nothing's wrong. This is exactly pretty much how I would think it would go. Up, down, and then hopefully by the end of the year, they'll be smooth sailing into 2025, and the Bears will be ready to be a legit playoff contender.
Well, I don't think that the Bears players are having team meetings every other week because everything's okay. So I would say D is
– You're taking D out?
D's off the list.
No D?
No D.
Okay, well but hey, I put D in there for you, all you people who think that this show is not of the positive variety. D is in there, damn it. But okay, you take D out. What are you going with? ABC.
Mark Carman giving the D. So no, to me, the number one thing, and a lot of people probably will disagree with me here, but the number one problem with the Chicago Bears, to me, is their offensive line. What do you mean? Matt Eberflus is their biggest problem. Matt Eberflus might not be a perfect head coach or even a great head coach, but he's not the worst coach in the league. And if their offensive line had a little more talent and less about mediocre depth, all due respect, but more top-end talent, it covers things out. It covers things up that are now showing to light. The offense can't operate. The running game took 4 weeks to get going. Caleb Williams is having trouble, being comfortable in the pocket. And if their offensive line, you talk about Washington, and Cliff Kingsbury was a once maligned, coach. Now he's the next hot head coaching candidate once again. And so the reason Washington's success and Jaden Daniels' success, Cliff Kingsbury's success, Dan Quinn's success is they have a great run game. They have a great O-line. And now it's turned their quarterback into the next level, even in his rookie year. And so if the Bears found their way to some top-end talent, I think it would cover up some things that we're now shining a very bright light on.
I do think you're spot on in that if you want to get this thing back rolling in a positive direction, they have to be able to run the ball to take some pressure off of Caleb and the passing game in general.
Well, and Justin Baker says it in the chat. Bingo. If both lines were elite, we would be more like Detroit. May get out coached, but the talent would rise above. Exactly. Like, you need both. You want to win a Super Bowl, but you want to be a better team than what the Bears are. Dan Campbell makes tons of boneheaded coaching decisions, but they love him there. Why? Because their team is so talented that sometimes the talent supersedes the decisions that are made at times.
But Dan Campbell, let's give the guy credit. That dude is a leader. He is
great leader.
He is dynamic.
Also makes some of the craziest in-game decisions.
He's aggressive.
I'm for that.
Right. So a lot of people think that, like, analytics says that he's right. He's super aggressive. Maybe he's a little over the top. I would argue that he was over the top in the playoff game, but that's what they had done all year. We don't need to go down the Dan Campbell love him or hate him little ride.
Yeah, but A was coaching. So
yeah. Well, here, and to your point, by the way, as far as the O-line goes, when the Bears lose, Caleb's on the ground. He's if he's been sacked an average of 5 times, there's a note in the trib today in the Bears' 4 losses, a good little note. And then, in the 4 wins, 9 sacks total. That's 2.25 sacks per game there, Bags. I'll do the math for you. So that's more than double when they're losing. And, they're keeping him upright when they win, which is not a huge surprise. Let me tell you something here, Gregory.
You always have that accent you come with.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest problem right now, if you're going to let Matt Eberflus off the hook here, which I'm not completely think it's fair to do because he hired the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, as far as I can tell, the Bears' biggest problem, if you want to put protecting the quarterback at 1, that's fine. But the play calling, the sequencing, the ability to comprehend the offensive coordinator is a major, major issue. They are not on the same. They aren't even close to being on the same page. You have 9 games in, DJ Moore running a fly pattern, Caleb Williams throwing it out, ball landing on the ground like it's week 1. You have Caleb running for his life half the time when is it the QB not seeing it?
Yes.
Okay. Well then,
but name the other
then
things,
you have to,
because I was going to say yes to those too.
It's
not. It's that. Yes. It's also the O-line not communicating together. They're both the line and the quarterback aren't identifying what's at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
It's all of it.
Yeah. And look, let's just say this. And we're going to play some Shane Waldron answers here when we get back in 2 minutes. But you being able to coach somebody up, you got to be able to communicate. All right? And if you can't communicate directly with the media, then it's going to show up elsewhere. It's not just I get in front of a microphone and a camera and I lose my mind. Like, who's more intimidating? Brad Biggs, Courtney Cronin, Adam Hogue, Nicholas Moreano, or Caleb and Carl Williams? Like, that, you got to have some confidence in yourself that this number 1 draft pick, who I got to coach up, who's got his own opinions, who believes he's great, who thinks that if he maxes out, he can be just as good as Tom Brady. Like that, you got to have some confidence in yourself to be able to coach that guy.
Can be kind of scary.
Biggs is terrifying. I don't disagree. But this is I'm gonna underline coming back here, just like and really just sit here and kind of listen to what.
No, Edward Elric. You're gonna eat your lunch with us.
Who cares if
He
Edward
puts in the chat. My lunch is here. I'm out. No, you're not, Elric. Sit down and eat your sandwich and watch the show and hit the like button and shut up.
All right, I appreciate that you just did that, but I really won't miss if Edward Elric leaves.
I will miss Edward Elric.
I will not. Even though Edward, you're always welcome. But if you go, you got to go. That's fine.
If you go, Edward, you're dead to me.
All right, Edward, don't go anywhere. But first, shout out to our friends at Game Time Picks. Game Time. It's got the new feature. It's called Game Time Picks, Braggs, and that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play even easier. Game Time Picks, filters out the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Like, what's the best buy? Where am I getting the most bang for my buck? Game Time does that, and Game Time Picks takes it to the next level. They got all-in pricing. They've got seat views. They got the lowest price guarantee. They've got the Game Time ticket coverage, all the things. You want to take the guesswork out of buying tickets? You do it with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. The redeem code is CHGO. You get $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Who?
Okay.
You're up.
Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Sunnyside. Word on the street is that Sunnyside, who is a sponsor to our CHGO Bears tailgates, they're going to be coming out to our tailgate here this Sunday, the corner of Wabash and Cermak. So come on out to our tailgate. You can meet Sunnyside. Head to chgo.com/events to get those tickets to come out to the tailgate. Our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary are here to elevate your summer and now your fall. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from. With easy online ordering and in-store pickup, whenever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far as Champaign and as far north as even Wrigleyville. They're in Wrigley, right down the street from the Clark and Addison. They're right over there. I swear, it's great. I've been over there many times. Stop in the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff or select from quality lines like Cresco or Florical. Available now. Good news, new LTO Island Vibes available in disposable vapes, 510 carts, and live resin gummies. Good news, Island Vibes for next level staycations, destination relaxation. Good news, Island Vibes, and Good news, Island Vibes Puff Puff Paradise. So they have so many different things, and now I've lost my train of thought. Nope.
You sure? I can tag this for you.
I got you.
I'd love to.
I know you'd love to, but I'd love to tell you to visit Sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders.
Thank you to Prison Mike, who does have to do some work, but he's going to be commenting less. Let us know. Thank you, Prison Mike. You're my guy. Hit the like button for Prison Mike. Hit the like button for Greg. Hit the like button for...
Not Elric.
No.
Hit the like button
we love
for
Elric,
us.
Even if he's gone. No problem. Hey, all right. So, full disclosure, on Thursdays, the Bears are not streaming the press conferences. So Nick was out there today. And then Nick sent us the audio of Shane Waldron and Eric Washington today. And Nick told us that Shane Waldron was great today. So I got, or very good or something. It was a positive. So I got excited. And I was like, all right. Shane Waldron has figured it out. He knows how to do a press conference. He's giving direct answers. He's speaking truths. So,
I'm scared.
Steven, play question 1, please. Let's hear it.
Do you think that maybe that center competition could be back open, or do you expect to see it more at left guard?
Do you think the center competition could be back open? Greg, what's your answer? Be Shane Waldron.
Well, everything's on the table at this point. We're just looking to improve our roster.
Is that really what you would say?
Anything's on the table at this point. It's about competition, and may the best man win. So you got to earn your job. You don't just get to keep it.
Okay, that's your answer. You're fired. But let's hear what Shane said.
Yeah, right now I think Brian's done a great job of working his way back into the mix, coming off of injury right there. I think Coleman's done a great job of controlling the inside of the line as far as communication and calls. And then every week, we'll have to deal with, whether it's injuries or different things that are happening where guys will cross-train and get ready to play the potential of multiple spots within the game. And we know we have all the confidence in the world of Ryan to play all three of those inside spots. But as every week goes, we'll evaluate it by the end of the week and as different circumstances play out. But, in terms of that right now, just looking for Ryan to keep putting good stuff on tape every day in practice like he's continued to do as he's worked back from his rehab.
Dude, what are you talking about? None of that made any sense. What was the question? Can I get the question one more time, Steven? Let me answer this, please. Shane, I hope you're watching. Give me the question.
Do you think that maybe that center competition could be back open, or do you expect to see him more at right guard?
No. Coleman's our center. They're not moving Coleman Shelton unless he gets hurt. Coleman Shelton is bonded with Caleb. Caleb's talked about it. No. Coleman's our center. We got to get Ryan healthy, and we'll see where we can work him in. We like him. We like him to play all three of those spots if needed.
You're a big Coleman Shelton guy?
It's got nothing to do with Coleman Shelton. This is what they're doing. It's not a hard answer.
Okay.
You have to be able to communicate. Give me question 2. This is a major problem in my mind. You have to be able to communicate information. The Bears look lost on offense. They can't score on the first drive. This is part of it. I'm telling you. You got to be able to communicate and explain and simplify things. This guy makes things more difficult. Question 2.
Jay, I know development of rookie quarterback is not linear, and that's understood, but just by the eye test, when you look at Caleb the last couple weeks, by the way he plays position, it just looks like he's regressing. Why is that wrong? Why is that not right?
So the contention that Potash, I guess, is given here is that they're saying that he's not regressing. Why is that wrong? Why is Caleb not doing that? Greg, you want to try to answer that one?
No, it's a tough one to answer because he has regressed over the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I would also say that development and progression isn't linear, and sometimes you're going to fall, but it's about how you get back up. That's my best dad speech.
Okay, not terrible. Can we hear what Shane said to that question about why he's regressing, not regressing, what's going on?
Yeah, I think for Caleb, every week is going to be a new set of circumstances that he's dealing with, different defensive structures, different blitz patterns, all the things that play out. And so for him, each week, just continue to work, playing clean eyes, clean feet, playing fast in the pocket right there. And it's something that, looking through all the different young quarterbacks, there have been some ups and downs as the process has taken place. And the thing that gives me all the confidence in the world in Caleb is his dedication to his craft, the way he comes into work every single day. And so we'll keep working and coaching him and the guys surrounding him, working their butts off to get this thing going and get it going in a consistent manner.
Did he just say we'll keep working with him?
Well, what else are they going to do? Stop
Dude,
working with him?
what do you mean? We'll keep working with him. No, I'm being a little nitpicky. We'll keep working with him. Bro, he's the number 1 overall. I'm really happy that they're going to keep on working with him. I'm glad they're not going to punt on the number 1 overall draft pick 8 games in. Why does it look like he's regressing? We're not protecting him well, and Caleb needs to get rid of the ball faster. Done. That's it. And he's aware of that. Period. End of story. Next. Yeah, I mean, DJ Moore walking off and sitting on the bench in the middle of the thing, like, what part of it is Shane in the equation there? It ain't nothing. It might be 98. I'm sure the quarterback's in there too, but in the whole system. But like this guy, I'm telling you, he's making me lose my mind, and I guarantee it's impacting what's going on over there. And at some point, if this thing doesn't turn, what's the stat that was also a note today that everybody knows? Bears starting football games in 8 games, the Bears have
3 points.
On the first series have 3 points. They did it on an 11-play 42-yard field goal march in week 2 against the Texans. Let me get question 3. Question 3.
Is it more about him or everything around him? The protection scheme, the receivers, everything. I know it's both.
Sure.
But is it more one or the other?
Okay, let me help you out on this one. I'll give you the answer in advance. I'm not doing a pie chart on this, Mark. It's everything. Done. What'd he say?
I think it's always impossible in the game of football to say it's always one thing. It's just it's all 11 every.
One more than the other.
Yeah, I think each play you could say one, it's one or the other depending on the play. That's why it's such a unique game. You got 11 guys that have their responsibilities on every single down, and collectively as a unit, if everyone can execute their assignment every single play, we know we have a great chance. And for Caleb in particular, that cycle of snap, getting up there, playing fast, something that he's been committed to do and working on and getting better. And like I said, I know there's going to be ups and downs. That's part of the process. But that confidence, that belief that he has in himself, that his teammates have in him, has been unwavering.
Dude, and the reason why I brought this one up, because to me this is part of the problem. You're trying to be a nice guy. Your rookie quarterback doesn't need a nice guy right now. He needs a direct, knows what he's doing coach, who communicates things directly. Whatever that was, it's problematic, dude. I think this is not my overreaction. Whatever.
Like you said, you got to just shut Potsy down there. Not doing the pie chart. Who's more to blame between the O-line or Caleb? It's me, because it starts with me. I'm the coach, and I'm the one that's got to put them in a position to succeed.
All right, I gotta make this is my job, man. So I got a really talented quarterback, and we got enough up front to get this done too. So even though we're banged up there, I still believe in those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Question 4, I think, was his best one. What was the? Let me get question 4.
The offense seemed to be really rolling before the bye week. What have you noticed is different over these last couple of games?
Okay, what's been different over the last couple of games with the offense? This one I think he did okay on. We'll get to Cole Kmet in a second, where I lost my mind, but I think this one's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I think similar to the early part of the season, where the negative plays or the second and long, third and long situations have really crept up for us in those games where we haven't had as much success, especially this past week where we're in multiple, second and 10 pluses leading to third and longers. Generally speaking, those are the scenarios you want to stay out of as an offense. And, when we're going and playing at a higher level, we know we're getting more runs called because we're not having as many negative plays. We're staying efficient with that balance, the marriage of the run and the pass, and then the completion play mindsets come to life, and you're in those second and shorters or right up to first and 10, third and shorters, and able to execute at a higher level. There
you go, dude. That's it. Penalties. Going backwards too much. I mean, you didn't have to do it that long, but at least you got an answer there.
Yep.
Like that was solid. That's right. Hey, man, we can't be. We are not good enough to have 17 false start penalties a week. So I probably need to simplify some things up, because for whatever reason, our guys are losing focus and it's just killing us.
Well, and I'll add to that, the started drives are one thing, but the started games are also putting us behind the 8 ball. And, there's been some wins where it hasn't costed us, but overall, we are making life harder on ourselves every single week we go in to play a game.
Right. I mean, we're not good enough to do that. Maybe someday Caleb can bail us out if we're second and 10, second and 15, second and 20, third and whatever. Right now we're not. I mean, we get the point. I guess we can move on. I want to get to Jalen Johnson and Zach Pickens, and I think Nick is joining us in a couple of seconds here. But this ain't great, and people are speculating that and I know that Flus has said he's got his back, but if the offense keeps sputtering, you need a new play caller. That's you gotta live in reality.
Yeah, well, but it's tough because I think if he does that, then he's, admitting a hiring that is under his watch.
Too bad.
So that just hurts his standing as the head coach.
Too bad.
As well.
Let's let
all this talk about the offensive coordinator and the failures of our coaching staff is making me want to have a few Miller Lights so I can feel a little better about my day here on a beautiful Thursday here in Chicago. A lot's changed over the years. One thing that hasn't, the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. So what is the best thing about Original Light beer? Well, Miller Lite sparked this debate in 1975 when Carm was just graduating college, and we still haven't settled it. That's right, Carm. It's about great taste or less filling, and Miller Lite keeps it simple, and that's what I'm going to do here as I explain this to you. It's undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. Miller Lite is the official beer of the Chicago Bears. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling, tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Go get yourself some Miller Lite.
That's my guy Russell. Love him. Can't wait to have some Miller Lights on Sunday morning. Come on out to our tailgate. Become a diehard, all those good things. Tailgate tickets are on our website, allchgo.com/events. That's right. Or click on the event. It's a little tab there, and you can live.
Go into the whole website, read an article, buy a shirt.
Yeah, there you go. Lots to do.
Our event.
All right. Hey, Braggs, you know that ComEd can help businesses save money by becoming more energy efficient. I know you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that, but guess what?
What? The energy efficiency program can help find up to 35% in energy savings.
Wow. So what does a business have to do?
It is just plain and simple. Just sign up for a free facility assessment at ComEd.com/biz.
Yeah, nothing is simple with me. That's amazing. So why aren't businesses doing it?
Maybe, perhaps they forgot the website?
Yeah, maybe. ComEd.com/biz. ComEd.com/biz.
One more time. I'm hard of hearing.
ComEd.com/biz.
That should do it right there. I got it. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customers' energy usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law. All right, we got a couple seconds here as we wait for Nick. Can we just do question 6 one more time just to put a bow on the whole Shane Waldron press conference today that I was told was amazing? We're at 5. Sure, why not? Let's do 5. I forgot. I'm sure they're both of equal. Question 5 is great. Let's hear question 5.
Since the bye, Cole Kmet's kind of been a non-factor in the passing game. Is there a rhyme or reason to his lack of targets?
We got to get Cole the ball, period. Thanks, Courtney. Good question. What'd he say?
Yeah, I think for us on offense, with whether it's Cole, DJ, Keenan, like these are guys that want the ball every single play and should want the ball every single play because they are, great playmakers in this league. And I think it's not just for Cole, it's for all the guys. When we're getting the ball spread around, when we're playing more efficiently, it leads to the touches, and those are the guys making those plays come to life. So whether it's any of our guys on offense, I know Cole hasn't had the ball go his way these last few weeks right here, but not by intent, but by the way the plays have played out. I think he's another guy that's done a great job of working at it, trying to find where he can go ahead and improve every single down, and collectively as a group, the more efficient we play, we know the more touches, the more yards, all the things that come into play when we go that direction.
Yeah. I mean, got to play with more efficiency. I mean, he's going to do everything he can to not throw his quarterback under the bus, because the answer is, well, Cole Kmet has been open. It's not like Shane Waldron's not drawing plays up.
It's not about throwing him under the bus. We got to get Cole the ball. Cole's one of our best players. It's not about it's not about that they all want the ball or they're all. Cole Kmet doesn't care if he gets the ball. He doesn't even know his player. Cole Kmet has been. We do this. Don't we have this thing? I think it's called the 85 with Cole
We do
Kmet.
have
Yeah,
this thing.
yeah. And Cole comes in here all the time.
It's a great thing.
Cole doesn't give a shit if he gets the ball. Cole wants to win. Cole is more than happy blocking all day long. He said it last year with Justin. That's not him. He's not a guy who is going to complain if he doesn't get the football. You'll never see Cole Kmet not trying on a play because, oh man, I was wide open, I didn't get it. That's not how he thinks. Cole is a winner. He's not a stat guy. So he's like, we need to get Cole Kmet the ball because when we use the tight end, it helps us win.
Right.
Period.
Yep.
And it's easier on the quarterback.
It's tough. I mean, it's tough because
I so miss the days when, you know who my favorite what this was? I'm sorry, Briggs, but my favorite when we had the defensive coordinator who would say things spot on, direct, and honest, whose name is somehow eluding me right now. He was
what year?
Just recently with Nagy.
Oh, Vic
Fangio. When they had Vic Fangio,
he was the best.
He was the best. It's not that hard either. Fangio would just be like up there, like super relaxed, and be like, "We got to tackle better."
Right.
Dumb.
And that's about job security. When a coach knows his standing, not just with the team, but within a league, doesn't matter what sport it is, they're going to speak more honestly, more confidently, because they'll have a job,
right? Because he's good at his gig. This guy's like, he's skittish, man.
Right. So it turns into a CYA mode. I just think thing that has to be acknowledged.
It's not working, man. It's not working.
Yeah, but it's not working. He has not been great this year so far. There's been many times you can have valid criticisms of the decisions he's made. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge where they're at with their offensive line. You've got Larry Borum playing left tackle. He hasn't been here all year because he's been injured. You've got, Tevin Jenkins, who's hurt one play, then not hurt the next play. Coleman Shelton, he's not been great at center. They've gotten somewhat better, but he gets blown back constantly. Their right guard is a complete mess. The answer has become Matt Pryor, who was your third string right guard. He ended up being your solution, a third string right guard, and now Darnell Wright is hurt. So they have a second string, third string O-line going on right now. And that's going to just put everything behind the eight ball of your offensive coordinator and your quarterback, who's a rookie, your play caller's in his first year. So, I laugh because I'm the one that yelled win now all preseason, looking at this schedule and having the expectation that they should have 7 wins at this point. And now I feel like I'm the only person that's willing to keep an open mind to the context of why they're not at 7 wins. And everybody's like, no excuses. Everybody told me that all that mattered was Caleb Williams' development, and as long as he wasn't a bust, this year was fine. I wasn't of that belief. I want them to win. I want to raise expectations here, but I just find it funny now. We're not even going to give any benefit of the doubt to anything because we're so mad that things didn't go a particular way. There is context with the fact that this offensive line, even if healthy, is not good enough with the top-end talent they have. And now the injuries aren't just mounting. It's an avalanche, and I don't know how they get through it. And if fans aren't going to give any benefit of the doubt, then eventually maybe Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus will be handed their walking papers.
Okay, and for the record, if we rewind back to the start of the show, I did say D. There's nothing wrong. They're on pace. This is what it is.
You did give the D.
I gave you the D. Now, and also.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I did. I absolutely did.
You did not.
Have you heard? Do you know a guy by the name of Bo Limmer?
No.
Have you heard of Bo?
No.
6th round pick. Rams.
Oh, yeah, the center.
Yeah, the center.
I heard about him.
Crushing for the Rams.
Doing good.
We have a Ram. What's his name?
Coleman Shelton.
Coleman. Yeah.
Bo replaced Coleman.
Yeah. Well.
And now you don't want to replace Coleman. The Rams replaced Coleman.
No, don't twist what I said.
It's not twist.
I didn't. No,
it's when you answered the question.
It's a twist. The Bears are not. If Coleman Shelton's healthy, Coleman Shelton is the center for the rest of the year.
Why? Why?
Because
they're 4-4. Everyone on this team should be earning their playing time, not just getting it.
Because Ryan Bates has an arthritic shoulder, and he hasn't been able to be on the field.
But if he shows in practice that he's the better player, then he gets to have the job. That should be the bottom line. It should be about who is better, who deserves it. Like that. Like that's it. That's what's the beauty of sports is you shouldn't just get things handed to you. It's earned through competition.
Right. And he's earned it. He's been able to stay on the field.
How? He's earned it because he's been on the field by default. Ryan Bates got hurt.
Correct.
So at this point, you're just saying he earned it by default?
Dude.
He hasn't been a good center. They've gotten better as the year has gone along, and Caleb and him are working on their communication.
Caleb's been talking about how Coleman is.
What is he gonna say? I hate my center.
He doesn't have to say anything. He could. What does he have to say? He said
you're the one that watches the tape. How many times do you see Coleman Shelton getting blown back?
I'm not saying he's an elite center.
You don't even know what kind of center Ryan Bates could be to say that
you don't because he can't stay on the field. You cannot at 9 games into the season or 8 games in, whatever, 9 after Sunday, turn to a guy who's got an arthritic shoulder and take this dude out. He's not going to be here long term.
You say he can't stay on the field. Well, Coleman Shelton hasn't been able to keep his ass off the field on the ground. So if Ryan Bates is able to come in and his ass isn't on the ground, then he should have it. If his shoulder gets hurt again, so be it. I mean, Tevin Jenkins gets hurt all the time. And he plays every week, or as long as he's healthy.
They're not doing that, dude. They're not switching centers right now. Whatever chemistry that they've built. And listen, Caleb was asked after last game, why were you still in the game at the end when we were getting smoked 29-9 and you were playing behind the Naperville North, if that is a high school offensive line. And his answer was, that's not my call, which is a direct throwing under the bus of the head coach. He could have said, why am I out there? Because the offense is nowhere close to where it needs to be, and I need the reps because I'm never leaving a game, because I'm trying to get better, because I would never want out, period, end of story. And he could have said that and said, that's not my call. He doesn't. The same thing with the center. He doesn't have to say that Coleman Shelton and him are having some chemistry. He wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
I don't have a problem keeping Coleman Shelton as your center. All I'm saying is when you asked what the answer should be, I am going to promote competition with this mediocre roster and let everyone know on this team that you aren't just getting the job by default. You have to earn it every day. At practice, every rep, every step, every game. Okay. You have to earn it. You don't just get to keep it.
Okay, old school. I hear
and
you.
If you don't like it, leave.
Fair enough. Listen, I'm pro competition, but they're not changing centers. Nick's going to join us in a minute here while we're getting ready for him. There's a bunch of stuff going on in that locker room today. So why don't we get 3 minutes of Jalen Johnson here, Steven? Because Jalen, as per usual, he was a happy Jalen, a smiling Jalen, but he was also an honest Jalen. This is some good stuff today. Jalen Johnson in the locker room. Nick coming up from the locker room at Halas Hall. Here's your number 1 cornerback.
Just being out executed defensively in the last couple of games. Yeah. What have you guys done to work on that and shore that stuff up?
I mean, really just going over it again. I think kind of just seeing where we've been hit at, of course, really in the run. Really a lot of uncharacteristic things, trying to clean up some assignments, really just figure out ways to stop that. I think that's where it starts at for us, but I think just really first and foremost, just got to get back to the basics, back to our assignments, and really just execute.
Is the run scheme different or being coached different than it was last year?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I'm not a big guy, so I don't really know too much of how they fit in things or what gaps they tell them to go to. I mean, for me, I kind of just fit on the outside. But, I mean, overall, I wouldn't know too much about it.
How big of a loss is Billings up front for what you guys are doing?
Very big. I mean, just, of course, I mean, it's funny saying big because he takes up a lot of that space up there. But, I mean, just his impact really taking away those A gaps, knocking the center back off the ball. I mean, people take stuff like that for granted, but when he's not there, it's like, dang, he really impacted that up front for us. So, I mean, we've been struggling with him, and now kind of without him, it's like we kind of got to find a new identity. So, good thing we got guys like Dex, Pickens coming back. So, I mean, we're going to have some guys that come in and fill that role.
What are you seeing early from Drake May?
What am I seeing early? I mean, really, I would say quick reads, kind of 1-2 look. If it's not there, kind of scrambling, getting out the pocket, trying to find ways to extend plays. Definitely has a strong arm, has a will to win. He makes some crazy plays at times, but I think for us, just got to be in the right position, take the ball away from him, stop the run. We know they're going to try to establish that first, and then just find ways to get turnovers.
When you come off a performance like last week, is there an extra anticipation to get up back on the field and just wipe it clean and prove who you guys are?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought we felt like that coming from the Washington game. So, I mean, just trying to get, of course, that bad taste out of our mouth. But, I mean, even this week, a new opportunity we have to be able to go out there and play the ball that we know we can play.
There was a lot of frustration, it seemed like, after, especially the Cardinals game in Arizona. Where is this group at mentally, would you say?
We're going to see it on Sunday. I mean, it's easy to be good when we're practicing. I mean, for me, like I've been saying all year, it's about what we do on Sunday. We can talk and, we feel good going to the game when we get our ass whooped again. And to me, it don't really matter. But I think just overall, I thought we always want to continue to fight, continue to find ways to push forward. But at the end of the day, we got to show up on Sunday.
What is the general mood of the team, knowing the back-to-back tough losses? The second half of the schedule is very tough. What is it like in here? How is everybody feeling about it? Good.
Motivated.
Motivated.
With Kyler getting healthier, how much of a difference does he bring when he's in there on the secondary?
He's a different guy, just as far as the way he plays the game. I mean, he's sneaky, kind of just seeing him back out there. It's like you can kind of tell he plays that position differently, just like his blitzes, the things that he does. I would say from his run fist, he just plays the game, I feel like, a different way than just guys in his position, and especially for me being able to play with him for 3 years, have that experience. I mean, there's times where we can communicate and not really have to talk or really even look at each other. We just see things a lot pretty much the same way. So, I mean, just for me getting him back, I think it's going to be a great thing. But overall for the team, he makes plays, pass, run, in all areas.
Jalen, how's Jaquan doing? I know that we haven't seen him much. I know he's been, Flu said he's been in some of the games, but he's still on protocol. Is he around much with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we see him here and there, but I mean, I feel like he's getting better. But of course, he has some things that he's trying to get through. Hopefully, he's on the back stretch up. We can get him back to.
Thank you. And there you have it, Jalen Johnson in the locker room where Nicholas Moreano was, and Nick joining us now from Halas Hall on the CHGO Bears Podcast. Nick, what was your biggest takeaway from that Jalen interview? Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, guys. I mean, I think there are a couple of things. Let's start with the last thing that Jalen Johnson was asked about, which is Jaquan Brisker. He's a guy that, I've seen sparingly in the locker room since he's been dealing with his concussion. But, I mean, he said, I feel like he's getting better, but of course he has some things that he's trying to get through. That thing is still the concussion that he suffered, weeks, almost a full month ago now at this point. So, you saw how happy Jalen was talking about Kyler Gordon being back on the field, but I don't feel like it's the same type of enthusiasm about Brisker because concussions are weird, man. Like Jaquan's been dealing with this for a while now, still going through the protocol and trying to get back on the football field. And hopefully we do see number 9 back out there for the Bears defense because he's a difference maker. But yeah, just still a lot of uncertainty around Jaquan and that concussion that he's still dealing with.
Seems like Kyler Gordon's starting to get over the hump here. Obviously, a big part of this defense. Anybody in the locker room kind of sharing what his comeback would mean to this team.
Yeah, I don't know if I can't speak to if anybody else would, but I mean, if you just watch how Kyler just plays a position and what Eberflus been doing with him, like we saw the run blitzes that he was being sent on even early on in that Jacksonville game before he eventually left with the hamstring injury that he's been dealing with. But he is a difference maker, and I think he would have made a big difference in last week's game against the Cardinals just with what they were doing in the run game because of how physical of a corner Kyler Gordon is. So I think getting a guy like that, and Jalen said they don't even have to communicate. They've been playing together for the last 3 years. They're kind of just on the same page in the way they think. So that's going to be a huge addition for this Bears defense to get someone that is physical. And Jalen, in that press conference you just listened to, talked about that the Patriots are going to want to establish the run game. So even when Kyler Gordon's in there, he should be an asset to help out these Bears defenders, bring down guys like Ramondre Stevenson or even Drake May, who is very capable of getting outside and running the football. So huge addition for Kyler Gordon, as long as there's no setbacks, to be back there on Sunday for the Bears against the Patriots.
Yeah, it was cool to hear Jalen just talk about the chemistry those two have. And, Kyler is a different cat the way he's able to get into the backfield. By the way, news coming out from Halas Hall. I'm just reading Brad Biggs' tweet here. Bears have signed safety J.T. Woods to the practice squad. He was a third-round pick by the Chargers in 2022. And Biggs continues, sounds like cornerback Jalen Jones' shoulder will likely head to injured reserve. That's a tough blow, as Jones has been very good on special teams this season. For those of you who don't know the background on J.T. Woods with the Chargers, he's appeared in 13 games and has a total of 8 tackles over 2 seasons. So, the Bears just looking for some level of help now at safety. Jones, Brisker, company, who knows? Maybe we'll see J.T. Woods on the field here at some point.
Yeah, I mean, when obviously with Jaquan Brisker still being out, you're asking more of Elijah Hicks. Obviously, you still have Jonathan Owens still on this team as well, but just getting more depth at that position, and safeties will play, a lot on special teams as well. So you just got to make sure that if anything were to happen to, Kevin Byard or Elijah Hicks, that you do have the number of guys just back there to obviously man the back end of your defense.
Can you play safety over there with your double messed up knees there, Gregory? They might be calling you.
No,
hey,
I cannot.
Hey, Nick, let's move over to Zach Pickens, who, and we can play this, I guess, but you were there when 96 was talking, and I thought it was pretty cool that he's got the big smile on his face, and he knows this is a big-time opportunity for him, right?
Yeah, no, he definitely understands the opportunity he's about to have with Andrew Billings going down. And, towards the end of this interview, you'll hear some questions, but they're definitely not from reporters. So we'll play that to see what I'm talking about here.
We're still working hard. It's definitely giving all we got at practice.
Do you look at this as an opportunity for yourself to be out there more?
Yeah, I definitely look at it as a huge opportunity for myself to show them what I'm capable of, and just putting out there good film, just showing them what I can do.
How good of a teacher is Andrew Billings? Have you learned a lot?
I did.
What kind of things have you learned you think it'll play? If you play a key role and you play for him, what have you learned from him? What has he taught you think will help you the most?
Hand placement at the center. He does that well. How to anchor, how to get off blocks. Hand placement was big for me, what he told me. And reading the keys easily at the nose. So Andrew really helped us out.
Besides those technical things, when you watch film of what he does in a game, what impresses you? What do you want to emulate?
How strong he is. How strong he is. He create knockback, and that's what me and BC gonna bring the knockback and show everybody that we can do a good job.
When you're out for an extended stretch, kind of like how do you kind of stay in it mentally and then be ready for when your time comes again?
Just whenever that moment comes, we have practice and we use practice for a game so we turn every practice into game. So practicing makes the game easier and it makes me feel comfortable. And then also my teammates they show love, they show everybody that believes, and that carries on to the game.
There was one game, I forget which one it was now, where you tried to come back. How frustrating was that it wasn't able to work out for you?
It was very frustrating because as soon as I came back, I tore it again. So that's the frustrating part. And now I'm back. I'm back to being me, so I'm good. I know that's good. Yeah.
Somebody asked Eric Washington about you, and he said he wants to see decisiveness. When you hear that, just what stands out in your mind?
I'm just show them that I can play, give it all I got.
Right. Can you speak up just a little bit? Just a little bit. Please. How you feel about Dexter?
Thank you, Zach.
He's a good friend, best friend.
How you feel about rushing beside 52? Daryl Taylor, we know you just acquired him maybe some weeks ago. We just want to know what you think about him.
Good kid, good guy. Brings a lot to the table. A lot of emotions. We don't know what we're going to get out of him, but we love him.
How much do you feel like your teammates got your back?
Oh!
That's a fine. Smile.
Right. And there you have it. Zach Pickens being interviewed. Who was in there, Nick? Which of his teammates were messing with him?
So I got to set this up because there was a big scrum in front of Zach Pickens at his locker. And then simultaneously, Montez Sweat was also speaking. So that crowd of media members got a little bit smaller when Montez Sweat was speaking outside the locker room. So then some of his defensive line teammates filled in the gaps that were left there. So you had Jacob Martin, Daryl Taylor, Dominic Robinson. So right next to me are these gigantic defensive linemen, and then they're asking some of those questions at the end. I think you heard Javon's like, who's your favorite teammate? Or how was Javon Dexter? And, Zach's, has to go and answer those questions and do it in front of the few members that were there, but also in front of his teammates. And there you go. They do have his back, and they know that he's obviously has big shoes to fill for Andrew Billings not being there.
What was his latest injury? Hamstring, quad? What's going on there? Remind me. I forgot.
Yeah, I believe it was that groin injury that he sustained in what was it? One of the training camp practices, right? That kept lingering, and that's what it was. So he feels, like he said in that interview, it feels back to be 100%, and he's going to be utilized, guys, and it's going to be in waves too. Like additionally with Zach Pickens, you have Byron Cowart, who's also another guy, Chris Williams, who's a guy that's pretty versatile, can play inside, outside. So it's going to be Zach Pickens and a bunch of other Bears defenders that are going to fill in for Billings and obviously rotate still with Javon Dexter as well.
The locker room doesn't sound too down about being 4-4 and having 2 losses. They seem in a positive, uplifting mood here, Nick.
Yeah, it was a little empty at first, but as you know, Mark, you wait a little bit out in the locker room, and eventually more guys appear. And I would say too, they don't seem. I think they realize what their mistakes were from that Arizona Cardinals game when you lose pretty convincingly in all 3 phases. You come out, want to make those corrections. There's this anticipation, like we heard from Jalen Johnson, to want to get back there on Sunday in front of your home crowd, get back on a winning streak, hopefully, against a very beatable New England Patriots team. So I think there is still optimism, even though inside-outside noise has definitely crept in, and that's what happens when you lose 2 in a row.
I think it definitely might help that it's the Patriots this week and not the Packers, because I think there'd be a little more pressure of everyone to stay on their toes. I also think it might be a correction from last week where after the Washington game, they let the pissed off vibes linger too long. So maybe after, their latest team meeting, whichever yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday, maybe they, have said, okay, now we need to just move on and look ahead. If I was the coach, there would be a giant sign that says no smiling, no laughing. It would be like in Moneyball. This is what losing sounds like, and it would just be a pin drop. I would not be allowing any smiling or laughing, only Taco Bell. So, obviously, I'm curious to hear what the locker room was thinking about Drake May now that he's been in here with the Patriots for a few weeks, maybe a month now.
Yeah, no, I think what Jalen Johnson was saying is obviously with those quick reads, but just watching some of the game tape from their loss against the Tennessee Titans last week. I mean, we knew he was mobile. I think we all understood that about Drake May's game, but he definitely has that capability of create some big plays on the outside. So for the Bears defense, and just speaking with the defenders and how they can improve from last week, like you need to be sound in your technique, your alignments, and they seem pretty confident that they can make those corrections going into this week. And we heard Jalen Johnson also say they're going to want to run the football. So that needs to be one of the big emphasis of this week going into that matchup. Stop the run, force Drake May into some turnovers, and which he has done throughout his rookie season, should have a shot against them.
Reminder, become a diehard. AllCHGO.com. Get her done. That's the way to do it, Nick.
It is the way to do it, but the proper way to do that is tell them everything that we have to offer, which I will do right now here in these last 19 seconds, and that is to tell you that we do podcasts every single day of the week. Go to allchgo.com/diehard to sign up. Games Monday through Friday, pre- and post-game shows, breaking news shows when they become available. That's what we have to offer you. Go to allchgo.com/diehard.
Nick, I don't want to put you on blast here, but you told me that Shane Waldron was really good today, and I listened to it, and I thought about putting 4 pencils into my ears. And we played a bunch of the cuts and tried to figure out what he was or how indirect he was being. What did you like about Shane today?
Wait, did I say the word really? Let's make sure that we got our facts straight here. I don't know if I put really good.
So he accused me of twisting his words. Now you're saying Mark is twisting your words.
Hold on.
Yeah, let's go back to the tape.
Okay,
Hold on, let's
okay.
go to the
We'll
tape.
go to the tape. You're right. My apologies. You said thought Shane actually did a decent job today.
So yeah,
that is way different. Different.
Steven, he lied. He lied to us because he said
actually did a decent job.
That
wasn't a decent job.
Nick said,
which was a low bar. That's a low bar. Actually, a decent that's a low bar that we all know. And so when I put that the way I did, it was because I thought there was some substance in some of the answers.
All right. So you lied.
I embellished. Fair. Point, Nick. Lost Carm. I was amazing on the tennis court last night since we're talking about points and losses, even though I lost.
That is the 4 seconds of tennis talk you get on this show.
That's right. Okay, so where did you actually think he did a decent job, to speak to your words more accurately, Nicholas?
Yeah, so on the one question that I asked him about the red zone play, it was 3rd and 10, the third possession for the Bears against the Cardinals, where Caleb throws the back shoulder fade to Keenan, and we all see DJ Moore running wide open in the middle of the field. I just wanted to get some clarification. Should that ball go to DJ? And I think I'll read verbatim what Shane said here. When we're going through our progressions there, and he feels like he's going to have a chance at it, he's doing a good job of reading through his progressions right there. Because Keenan does win off the snap there. He's running the fade, gets open, and then Shane continues. There's going to be, people on the backside, whether it's 2 or 3 progressions that come open from time to time. But I think Caleb has done a good job with some of those scenarios, like those one-on-ones. He has a chance at Rome on the play before that, he says. And then obviously in the red zone, you talk about these matchups are executed at a high level. But these scenarios, so I think playing fast and not bypassing number one, and having the confidence to keep taking those shots regardless of the outcome, as long as the process of the play is right. So if we go back at it, there is an opportunity to hit Keenan, and the throw's a little off. It looks like the defender gets away with grabbing Keenan's arm. He can't even get his second arm up there. So I do like the answer that he gave in that. And obviously, if maybe Caleb had more time or Keenan didn't win off the route, there's going to be DJ wide open there. So I appreciated the honesty, how they processed that play, why that was still the right decision, even though it didn't come out to the outcome that we all wanted, because we've seen some of those back shoulder fades go back to London where Caleb puts it right on a dot to Keenan Allen, or even the second touchdown to Keenan Allen. That's also a fade right in that back left corner in the end zone. So they've connected on it. They didn't connect on that one, and that was a play everyone was talking about where Caleb just needs to hit DJ. I get it. He can, but the process of how he went to Keenan in the first place was something that I think Shane can live with, Caleb can live with, but the result just wasn't what we all wanted.
Yeah, it's about timing at the end of the day, and when you're trying to throw a back shoulder corner fade, it's got to be on time.
All right, Nick, anything else that we missed? We're going to get a little Patriots preview coming up for a second here with my guy Phil Perry from NBC Sports in Boston. Anything else that we missed?
Yeah, just real quickly, we got a chance to speak to some of the defensive coordinators, and John Hoke, the Bears cornerbacks coach. He talked about Tyreek Stevenson in length to the reporters here, and he took a lot of responsibility for Tyreek's actions on the field against the Commanders. And here's why he did that. He said, I have to make sure he's locked in and focused. I take responsibility for that. That is my player. Obviously, he made a bad mistake, but he just has to coach that better. And then the follow-up question was like, well, that's a part of Tyreek's game. He plays with a lot of emotions. That's just, what also makes him great. And, John Hoke agreed with that. He's a very compassionate guy, but still puts that responsibility on him to make sure that he's in the right frame of mind to obviously make plays and not give up or not lose the responsibility on, a Hail Mary play. And then the last thing, I asked him, like, will he start on Sunday? Because we didn't get that answer from Eric Washington when I asked him in that press conference. So I asked him, and he said, there is a good chance that Tyreek will be starting back in place of Terrell Smith, who did tweak his ankle, but I think he's on the trajectory of being all right for that game. So I think there's a chance that Tyreek plays on Sunday, or starts on Sunday, I should say.
I'm annoyed by all that too. Yes, he's starting. He's paid his penance here or whatever. I mean, come on, get your best players on the field. Nick, great stuff, my friend. And my apologies once again. Every day I seemingly have to apologize to Nick. You only said that he actually did a decent job. You didn't say good or great or even phenomenal. You just said actually decent. So my point, Nick. Lost Carm. Congratulations. You win again.
Thank you, Mark. I'll see you here tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Out at Halas Hall.
Similar to how he handles you on the ping pong table.
Just stay in your lane over there. Mediocre to horrendous athlete who's boasts on his golf game. You're better than me at golf.
And I wasn't even going to talk. I had my 5 seconds of golf talk, and then you want to bring it back up. That's on you.
No problem. Phil Perry, NBC Sports Boston, is kind enough to join us right now to preview the Patriots. Phil was busy. I didn't know 100% that he was going to get in, but here he is as we get to preview the 2-7 New England Patriots. All right, Phil, what chance do you give these, let's call them the plucky Pats, who nearly pulled off a miracle last week against a bad Titans game? At least, whatever. There was a Drake May miracle at the end. That was a ridiculous play to get the game to overtime. Should a struggling Bears team be a little nervous that New England might actually be figuring something out here and are going to give them a tough time on Sunday?
No, I don't think so. I think plucky is even strong for these guys. Listen, they've got a good young quarterback is what it looks like. And he still has his warts when it comes to his game. He still turns the ball over a little bit. That's just sort of part of who he is as a player. He's used to playing hero ball from his days at North Carolina. He's kind of being asked to do the same thing, if not overtly. He is being asked to play the way he played in college because the situation around him is so poor. When it comes to the receiving group, might be the worst in the league, and the offensive line might be right there with them, 32 out of 32, especially when it comes to their ability to block in the run game right now. So it really is all on his shoulders, and he's handled it surprisingly well these last few games since he's been named the starter. But otherwise, I mean, they needed him, guys, to account for 95% of the Patriots offense in Tennessee just to keep it close against one of the worst teams in football. That's just where the Patriots are right now. They might be the worst team in football. They're scheduled to pick number 1 overall in the draft next spring as it stands right now. So I know there's a lot going on in Chicago, and they've got their own issues to deal with. There's no doubt. But when it comes to overall talent and whether or not they should win this game, they should win this game.
I mean, do you think that is there any concern on your guys' end that you said, well, he's got to revert back to what he was doing in college, playing hero ball? Caleb's been going through that a little bit here these last couple weeks, and the thing Bears fans are concerned about is bad habits. On your end, are you guys worried that this is going to become a long-term issue for Drake May, developing bad habits under these conditions that he's trying to play with?
Yeah, what's interesting is he's probably curbed that don the cape and do everything that the team needs me to do sort of attitude a little bit since college. So he's actually probably shown a little bit of progress as far as that goes, where you do see him occasionally, when he's able to, make plays from the pocket. And his footwork actually looks relatively clean from time to time. Whereas when he first got to the Patriots, and you could even see it in OTAs in the spring, he was at the first sight of pressure, he was looking to bail and make a play on the run, whether that was create yards with his legs or throw on the move. Now he has gotten a little bit better at sliding and sort of deftly avoiding contact inside the pocket and extending the play just that extra half second to make a throw. But the issue for him is he's playing behind an offensive line that is full of essentially practice squad guys. They at one point in the season this year, they had, 80% of their offensive line were guys that got cut by their respective teams. 2 of them weren't even here in New England at the end of training camp. So that's the level of talent that they're dealing with right now there. So he is being forced to do a lot of that other stuff. And the bad habits might be a result of that if he has to do this throughout the course of the rest of the season. I think, guys, though, people are just so happy that they're getting any sort of promise whatsoever from the quarterback position. You're not getting so much in the way of nerves when it comes to Drake May. It's everything else. It's the head coach. It's the offensive coordinator. It's the talent around the quarterback. They're not worried about him developing bad habits right now.
I mean, I'm getting a Bears feeling to what's going on in New England a little bit here. Phil Perry's with NBC Sports Boston. You want to follow him on Twitter. Phil A. Perry giving us our Pats preview here. So if you're the Bears, do you just focus on running the ball, which New England can't stop, or are you going to let Caleb air it out here? I mean, they're trying to get back to balance, but if they just kept the ball on the ground, could the Bears win the game doing that?
They probably could, because the Patriots haven't shown any ability to consistently stop the run. So, I think Chicago's had their issues stopping the run as well, and the Patriots are a great matchup for them in that regard because they can't run at a lick. They're averaging about 2 yards per carry offensively themselves over the course of the last month. It's just been an abomination when they hand it off to their running backs. Nobody creates less yardage before contact than your New England Patriots right now. But from a Bears perspective, if you feel like they have the type of personnel up front that can just lean on an opposing defensive line and an opposing linebacker group and just create 3, 4, 5 yards a pop, they actually have been okay the Patriots have when it comes to limiting explosive runs. So it's not like they're giving up these huge, on a consistent basis at least, 25, 30, 35-yard runs. But they can't stop opposing offenses from getting 4 yards a pop. And so if that's what Chicago wants to do, if that's what they feel like would allow for Caleb Williams to have a little bit taken off his shoulders and be a little bit of a stress reliever for him in some ways, then that's, of course, what they should do. What I would say, though, is understanding what Caleb Williams' game is, the Patriots, not only have they had a hard time stopping the run, they've had a really hard time keeping mobile quarterbacks inside the pocket. So whether it was Geno Smith, Aaron Rodgers earlier in the year before his Achilles started giving him problems is what it looks like is happening now, Brock Purdy, they could not for the life of them keep these guys in the pocket, and it was allowing them to pick up yardage on 3rd and long situations when they scrambled. It also was just allowing these guys to extend plays and find their receivers deep down the field. So for a guy like Caleb Williams, who has the style of play that he has, this Patriots defense might be a good matchup because he's so athletic, and we know the play's never really over with him.
So the Patriots have 2 wins on the season, the Bengals and the Jets. And the Jets more recently. Obviously, the Bengals was week 1, and I think the Bengals have cleaned up some things since then. But
yes,
I'm trying to understand what the Patriots did right in their wins for them to win those games, because
Greg lives a very nervous life.
Right. Well, I mean, Bears fans are on edge right now. If they lose this game, especially the way you're drawing up the way this Patriots team is, it is officially DEFCON 5. So what did the Patriots do right in their win against the Jets?
So they were a little bit tougher, I would say, in critical situations. And the way the Patriots have defined toughness for a long, long time since Bill Belichick was there. I'm sure that the same is true for other teams. But Gerard Mayo has continued the same sort of approach and carried with him the same definition of toughness, which is run the ball, stop the run, cover kicks. Against the Jets, they did the first 2 things well enough, and they did them well in critical spots in order to win that game. So they couldn't run it for a good average whatsoever, but they ran it well near the goal line, and they were able to punch it into the end zone, and they were able to score on a 4th down situation at the end of the game. They stopped the run really well in the second half. They had some really critical run stuffs in the 3rd and 4th quarters that led to field goal opportunities that should have been more for the Jets, given their starting field position. So when they're able to sort of bow up, so to speak, and actually do something in the trenches, that's when they can have success. They can't do it consistently whatsoever. So the Bears, who it's my understanding have played pretty well at home this year, and defensively, certainly, they've shown some positive things when it comes to everything that I've read and some of the numbers that I've seen. If they can just win that quote unquote toughness battle, as cliche as that sounds, at the line of scrimmage, then the Patriots given what they have in terms of talent, they just aren't going to be able to generate enough in terms of explosive plays to be able to win this game, in my opinion. So just make sure that the Patriots don't get into those goal line rushing situations. Make sure that you are able to run it consistently 3-4 yards at a time. If you're Chicago, you should be okay.
Yeah, the Bears haven't lost a game at home in over a year, and they haven't won a game on the road in about a year. So that's where we're at.
You don't need to win on the road. It's overrated. Hey, Phil, just two rewind questions for you. Number one, did you agree at the time, and do you agree now, that drafting Drake at 3 was the right move for a New England team that needs a zillion things rather than trading out? Because there were a lot of rumors that people were calling the Patriots, and they just had no interest in moving off him.
Yeah, I think it was the right thing. I thought it was the right thing at the time. I actually, at the time of the draft, guys, I thought that Drake May was the best quarterback prospect in this class. And it's in part because of I'm sort of a sizeist at the position. I like having a tall guy who can see over the line of scrimmage. We know Caleb Williams has a phenomenal arm, and he can limit some of those, vision issues if he has any, with his mobility and his ability to find open space behind the line of scrimmage and create time for himself. But I think Drake May can do a lot of that too. So I think he's got the frame to be physically tough for an organization that needs a physically tough quarterback, because they are so bad at the line of scrimmage right now in terms of protecting that guy. And I just like what he has in terms of makeup. Again, he was forced to play some hero ball at North Carolina. And when you watched him there for 2 years, if there was ever a pick that was dropped by his guy or tipped up in the air by his guy and it starts going the other way, or if there's a blown assignment by his offensive line, the palms never went to the sky. He always just sort of seemed to have an even keel about him, and he's displayed that here too. I think the leadership qualities that we've seen from Drake May have been really positive, maybe the most positive thing, honestly, about his rookie year to this point, because we knew he was physically gifted. We knew he had athletic ability. We knew he had a strong arm, but his ability to take some massive shots in the pocket and outside and bounce back and play well in spurts and really motivate his teammates and be what you need to be at that position, in my opinion, for a winning organization. That to me has maybe been the best thing about his game. So they made the right decision at the time. And even though they have so many holes to fill, that's what this offseason's for. They've got a ton of money. They've got draft capital. They should be able to address a few of their needs and be a better team next year.
Well, Nate Tice from The Athletic, who's a friend of the show, he was all over Drake May at last year, saying that he thought he was the best QB in the draft. And, we shall see. He certainly looks like Josh Allen when you look at him, just size-wise. Like, dude's a big guy. And made a hell of a play to send the game in OT last week. So, we'll see. Good, fun matchup part of the week this week. Last one for me, Nate. Phil, excuse me. We're past my bedtime right now. Do you think that Bill Belichick will get another head coaching job? And, we got an issue over here with Matt Eberflus. I don't think he's going anywhere, Phil. But, if it was you, would you consider bringing old man, young man Bill living the life, doing whatever he's doing in his private time? Congratulations to Bill. Would you consider that as a legitimate hire?
First of all, Mark, I'm gonna need you to shotgun whatever's left of that Dunkin' coffee right by your right hand right there, and let's get you fired up for the rest of the show, okay? Number two, Bill Belichick. It depends on what you want. I'd love to hear from you guys. Are you okay with whoever the next head coach is? Are you okay with him being around for maybe 2 years, breaking the wins record, and then sailing off into the sunset? Or do you want somebody who's one of these, young offensive gurus with the tight khakis and the Jordans on the sidelines, who's going to be the guy you hope for the next 10 years to grow with your young quarterback? Like, if I was in Chicago right now, Bill Belichick would be enticing on this front. I think he would clean up a lot of your situational issues, and he would see some certain obvious weaknesses, and he would just get away from those. He'd lean into what the team does well. He would simplify everything for these guys. And I think that would pay immediate dividends. What I would be worried about is I'm not sure he's the best head coach to develop a young quarterback based on what we just saw Bill Belichick do with Mac Jones here in New England and the coaches that he surrounded him with, making Matt Patricia the offensive coordinator in Mac Jones' second year after he led the team, helped lead the team at least, to a 10-win season as a rookie. So that would worry me. But I think he could get you, back into the postseason in relatively short order. So it's sort of a catch-22. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say, because we're talking about Bill all the time here and whether or not he's actually going to get a job next year.
Yeah, I think that, of the way you're selling it,
I'll do it. I'm in.
Yeah.
And I don't even, the guy drives me nuts
all that
too.
matters for this team is to make sure that Caleb Williams becomes the quarterback they invested so heavily into and are rolling the dice on the next 5 years, and with the hope that it becomes 10 to 15 years. And the only way you do that is to develop him properly. So if you're telling me that Bill Belichick might not do that, then that immediately disqualifies him from the job for me.
See, this is what I would do. Hey, Bill, we're going to hire this guy, Ben Johnson, in Detroit. He's an offensive guru. We want you to be his assistant head coach.
Right. If you wanted to make Bill Belichick president of football operations to just walk around Halas Hall and yell at everyone all day, I would literally pull up to O'Hare right now and take him over there, because that's what they need. But we need a quarterback developer.
Do it in concert. I just think it's interesting at the end of the day, Phil, that most people would say this is the greatest football coach of all time. No one wants him. It's pretty amazing.
It's hard. I mean, listen, if you're a billionaire owner and you want a 5-year plan, I'm not sure that the head coach is as great as he has been, whose expertise is not on the offensive side of the ball in 2024, and you just drafted a quarterback number 1 overall, and he's into his 70s. That there's a lot you have to get over in order to hire Bill. And I'm with you, that overseer kind of role, that whatever that Tom Coughlin role was in Jacksonville for a period of time, that would be perfect for Bill Belichick. I just don't think Bill would ever want to do it. I don't think there's any way in hell he would be just suggesting things to the head coach and the general manager, whoever those people are, and hoping they take his advice. No, he's going to want to have the keys and be making all the important decisions.
How old was Marv Levy at his end? Was he in his 80s? He was close.
He was in his 70s, I think. I don't know if he was quite up to 80, but it's funny. Bill Belichick back in 2009 said, I don't think you're going to have to ever worry about me being Marv Levy coaching in my 70s here. I just don't see that for me in the future. And lo and behold, here he was last year, coaching the New England Patriots to a 4-win record.
That was an excellent Bill. And holy Bill, I can't believe he said it, didn't know himself. You're a lifer, dude. You're not going to retire to the golf course unless they kick you out, and that's, I guess, what they did.
Mark is the Marv Levy of this program.
I don't like my co-host, Phil. His name is Greg Braggs. Don't allow him anywhere.
He was around back in the day when the Bears beat your Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Kicked your ass, Phil. You were not there, but
yeah. The 2:00 bedtime for Mark's making a lot more sense now.
Hey, Phil, we're super fun to have you on. Give us a score prediction.
So I do think the Bears are going to win. I think it'll probably be relatively low scoring. So I'll go the Bears winning this one 20-16.
Oh, great. So I can throw up halfway through this game. That sounds lovely.
You'll grow up one day and just be able to relax and sit through a football game and just know that your football team is going to win.
Ruining my life.
Or they're going to lose, and you'll be okay either way. Phil, thanks so much, man. Hopefully we get to do this again down the line when the Bears beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, I don't know, next year or 2 years from now, somewhere in the realm, May versus Williams. I'd sign up for that.
Oh, 100%. I'll be there. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thanks, Phil. Phil Perry, NBC Sports Boston, at Phil A. Perry on Twitter if you would like to get some Pats content going into your weekend.
They suck.
I mean,
the Patriots suck. They can't run the ball. I mean, the last game, their top running back had 12 yards, and Drake May had 90. They can't stop the run, but the Bears are gonna squeak a win out at home, which they haven't lost at home in over a year, but they're gonna squeak a win out 20-16. Good Lord, are we in dire straits right now with the perception of our Chicago Bears? How quickly things have fallen apart.
How quickly
since
they have
got back from London.
Listen, things changed and they'll change again. So don't you worry, buddy. Play well this weekend. Offense looks good. Next thing you know, we'll be rolling into the Packers with all sorts of options. What are you laughing at?
Oh, man. That game. Just win this week, and then I'll be terrified about next week.
Okay. Greg, I think you actually need to go take a nap.
We have super chats to get through.
Oh, we do? Good.
Yeah, and when we don't do the super chats, it really upsets people like my good friend Chubbs, who put in like $20 worth of super chats the other day. We didn't read them.
The whole show yesterday was Chubbs while you were gone. So Chubbs is in a good space. Marcos, we'll go Marcos first, and then we'll do the Chubbs run. $9.99 from Marcos. The Bears were supposedly installing this offense with Caleb in the pre-draft process. And this is where we are in week 10. I can't see how Poles can keep Matt after this year. Hashtag FML.
FML. Indeed.
That's a good underlining there, Marcos. I know what FML stands for. We don't.
I didn't say that you didn't. I just said FML indeed.
Oh, FML indeed. Indeed.
Turn up your volume, old man.
Mubs. I mean, Chubbs.
Mubs and Chubbs.
Mubs and Chubbs.
That'd be a good podcast. Mubs and Chubbs. We don't have,
My dyslexia is really hitting here at the end of the show. Not that I've ever been diagnosed with it, but who knows? Chubbs 82, $5, my man. Why does Carm look like he's been drinking for the last 48 hours? Bears starting epic comeback this Sunday. Also, you'll be all right, Carm.
He's tired, Chubbs. We've confirmed this now. He's sleepy.
Chubbs, I was on the court last night taking on my guy Jeff Sachs. I played out of my mind. It was incredible. I lost 6-1, 6-2. Dude didn't miss it. I mean, the guy literally missed like 3 balls the whole match. It was nauseating. I am not drunk and haven't had a drink since I left these guys on Monday when we had pitchers Monday afternoon. And then I fell asleep on the walk back to PHNX. And that's when I knew that alcohol needed to take a break in my system.
We messed up that night because we should have stayed. Me and Steven should have stayed in Phoenix and went to the Suns-Sixers game. That's what we should have done.
Did you not know there was a Suns-Sixers game?
Yeah.
You were exhausted.
We ended up, from the game the night before, 100%. But then we watched it when we got dinner that night, and it ended up being a really good game. So we should have hit it up with PHNX crew. We didn't. We messed up. That's our bad.
Did PHNX crew offer to take you?
No.
Well, so there you go. Why would they don't like you like that.
What?
They don't. $5 from Chubbs. The problem is the Bears are unwilling to hire people who are not nice. They're afraid of strong men. For the record, I saw in some chat earlier that I want some strongman coaching. I just want an honest person to help the dude along. It's not about strong or tough or anything. Just
the players have said it themselves. The first leadership meeting was about Waldron coaching them tougher.
Breaking news, I hear the Bears just had another meeting. They just met again.
I know. This reminds me, is this what the Bull? There was one year where the Bulls did this like every other week. And that's how you
feel like
know
it was that Fred Hoiberg's
with Jimmy Butler. Yeah, they had like literally 8 meetings in a month, and it all came burning down. And that like is what it feels like with this team. The amount of meetings they've had to have already.
This podcast needs a meeting.
We need less meetings.
We need to never meet.
The less I have to talk to you, the better.
It was so wonderful this morning when you were doing Briggs and Brown, which is debuting tonight at what?
7:00, Briggs and Brown show coming up, and CHGO Bears After Dark tonight at 8:30. So you get Briggs and Brown at 7, and then you get CHGO Bears After Dark at 8:30 with me and Corey Wooten. We'll see if Adam Rank is available. And outside of that, 3 Bears shows in one day to get you all the way to Sunday.
That's amazing. My whole night is planned now. I can just...
You're so full of shit. Oh, your whole
Hey, I showed up at one of your brags.
If you want to come on tonight, you can come on tonight. But you probably got... some plans to have somebody whoop your ass in tennis.
I definitely am not coming on because you have so much to do on that show.
You want to talk to Corey?
I do want to talk to Corey, but
on that show we don't have a time limit on how much we talk about our golf game. That's pretty much all we talk about.
I'm not going on. Sudbury Bob, $10.
If you were better than me at golf, you'd want to talk about it all the time. It's the only reason you don't want to talk about it.
How's this? I challenge you tomorrow or Saturday. I'll play you and I'll play you for money.
Anytime, any place.
You tell me
I'm playing Saturday already. Got a tee time booked. Booked that before I even got home.
We're at Forest Preserve?
By my house. You'd have to park in my cul-de-sac.
Nope.
That's what I thought.
You're dodging me.
I'm not dodging you.
It's a dodge. Just cancel your game. Come play me. If you were at any substance to yourself, you do it. $10.
We've already played for money, and I took your money. He started it.
Sudbury Bob, Sunday will 100% be Waldron's final game play calling. Book it. All right, Sudbury, you are on the ledger, my friend. That's your prediction. We'll see. And to wrap it up today, $9.99 from our leader, Crystal Simone, who we greatly missed in Phoenix. I'm sure you're thrilled you didn't come because that was a disaster, although it was a great time. Hey, guys, glad to have Braggs and Steven back. Bear down. See you all Sunday. If you haven't hit the like button and buy your tailgate ticket. Yeah. Where do they do that, Braggs?
ALLCHGO.com/events. And if you become a diehard, ALLCHGO.com/diehard, you can get a discount on that event and a free shirt and access to Adam Hogue's Bears Things newsletter and Carm's grades and Nick's breakdowns with players in the locker room and our Discord channel and discount on all merchandise going forward and all discount on all events. That's all the stuff I could just come off the top of my head when you become a diehard that you get.
Are you tired? I think you're worn out. I think that I'm 15 years older than you. Is that right?
I think you're being light on the years there.
But I've got so much more energy. Why are you guys so jealous of each other? Patrick Tahawa.
We're not jealous of each other. I don't like him. He doesn't like me.
It's got nothing to do with jealousy. These guys just
we're forced to work with each other.
It's just torture to be around. Guy ruins my life
We're
every day.
both waiting it out to see who will die first.
And we all know it's going to be him.
It's,
somebody give him another Dr. Pepper Zero.
He's got the age thing. So
somebody give him another cigar. Somebody give him another Crown and Coke. All right. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tonight for Briggs and Brown and Braggs After Dark. We'll see you Sunday at the tailgate. Come on out. We'd love to see you. It's a ton of fun. And we'll see you, of course, for pregame at 11, taking you up to the Bears and the Pats. And then we'll be with you after. And you know the schedule. You love us. Hit the like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the CHGO Bears Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.